And we made it. Another Friday night. I'm not used to having anyone in the house with me when I'm live streaming. So my son is hosting tonight. Thank you, G, for saving the day. So as Peter probably told you, and that is way too loud, that music, isn't it? It's distracting me. So let's turn that down a little bit. Okay. So we had a lot of adventures this week. We had some major storms come through Oklahoma, and I guess it knocked out my internet. Well, I'm on Optimum, which used to be Suddenlink. Suddenlink was okay. I never needed service, so I guess they were okay. Optimum, not so much. They're not Optimum. Okay. So I will be switching over probably to AT&T if they have service in my area. So I should be back home next week, hopefully. So yeah, I had to bring everything up to G's house, and the lighting's not optimum. The microphones are not optimum. It just is what it is. Okay. I forgot cables for this, that, and the other. And so we've kind of got a piecemeal thing. And my OCD is really having a hard time with all the cables going helter-skelter and everywhere, but it is what it is. So, how's everybody doing? I feel like I can finally just kind of, okay, it's going to be okay, right? But I'm going for the thing that Lewis is doing, okay? Where, come hell or high water, he comes on every Saturday night. So, we're going to try this. By the way, Peter, I did find out how to go live on my phone about 20 minutes ago. So I didn't want to test it tonight, but I probably will do some testing this week with it in case something should happen again, right? So it's been a little crazy. Blood pressure's been up most of the day, but, it is what it is. Let's see who's here. There's Randy. Hello, everyone. Hi, Randy. Peter is still a Canon fanboy. Really? Peter has a little bit of everything. He likes everything. Variety, spice of life, right? Jeff, you made it, bud. Afternoon Sly, how was your week? Well, it's one for the record books. So in the midst of all this, I've got a 3-year-old with me that I have promised to take to the playground. Right? In the town where I live, they have this huge, ginormous playground. Okay. And he's only been there once, and it was last December, I believe. And so he didn't remember it. And so but I kept telling him, I'm going to take you to the playground, And then this internet thing happened, and bless his heart, he was so patient. And so for a 3-year-old, that kid acted like he was 7 or 8. Okay. I traipsed him up to the store. When I called them, I told them that we'd had a storm, and so it was something outside of my house. Well, they immediately said, no, it's your modem. No, it's not my modem, but okay. So they wouldn't send anybody out until I changed the modem. Okay. So this morning we get up, little man and I, and we trek off to the Optimum store, and we get a new modem. Bring it home, same thing. No signal whatsoever. So I call them again. I changed out the modem. You should be happy. I still have no signal. And I said, I need a signal by 10:30 tonight. And they said, that's just not possible. So after 10 years, I'm probably going to say, sorry about you. I did call yesterday. You could have sent somebody out today, but they wouldn't believe me. And it kind of tends to rub me the wrong way when people act like I don't know what I'm talking about. Because if I don't know, I'll tell you. I don't know. But I was like 100% sure it wasn't the modem. So it is what it is. Hey, Charles, how you doing? So Peter and I were talking about you because of all this going on. do you go live off your phone or off your laptop? Inquiring minds want to know, because I know you go live at like restaurants and stuff. Are you on your phone or are you on your laptop? And if you're on your phone, how do you do it? And Randy says, looking great, Sly. Thank you, Randy. This is very makeshift, very, put together quickly. And what was so sad, I spoke to Lewis on last, Mr. Camera Junkie on last Saturday, and I had everything 100% fixed. I had the audio perfect. I had everything 100% fixed. And then I had to take everything apart and traipse it up to G. So when I get the internet back, it should be all fixed. If I can remember how I plugged everything up again. Yeah. So there's my Lewis. How you doing, buddy? My condolences, hugely. Okay, you've been in my prayers, and just you've got so many friends in this community. Just reach out to somebody, anybody. Okay, you are not alone, and you don't have to go through this alone. Okay, we all love you, Lewis. Charles says, I use cellular 5G for backup or satellite with Starlink. Cellular 5G. Okay, I'm on 5G. Can I do that on my phone? Like, can I do this on my phone? I just wouldn't have Ecamm, but I don't know. Hey, Roy, how you doing, bud? Seen you a couple times over on Chuck's, and then I think I saw you on Peter's tonight. Yeah, we just kind of hang out here, and often I will have something to actually show you, but this has not been the week for getting new things, right? It's not been it's been a fun week. I'm really glad it's Friday, right? Because in 2 days we start a new week. So, woohoo! Back at you, Randy. Did I hear Peter say you had 600 and something videos out? That is amazing. That is so much work. Hey, Suey. Hello, Sly. We have missed you the last 2 weeks. Yeah, we need to talk, girl. It's been a lot going on. And Lewis says, miss you, Sly. Lewis, I miss you. Everybody notices when you're not here. Does that tell you anything? It should. That should tell you a lot, bud. Randall's talking to Roy, says, need to get this lady on AP Studios for a woman's point of view. Right? I am the only woman in this whole crowd. And, we have others come and go, and they flit in, and they, occasionally, right? What is the deal with that? Because I know there's a lot of women out there that like tech. So I actually have found some on YouTube, and I think I'm going to send them an invite, right? Because there are women out there that do this kind of thing. There's just not very many of us. And apparently, I like listening to the Daily Man, so yeah. I draw the line at hair on my chin. Gotcha? Okay. Jeff says, that sounds right for telcos. They do the same here. It is frustrating. Yeah, that's, I had the power company do that to me one time when I had lost, in your house, you have 2 legs of power that come in, each providing 110. And on the bus, if you connect them, it's 220. That's how your dryer and your stove and, all that kind of stuff run. Well, I had lost the whole leg of power, right? And when I called the electric company, they're like, well, how do you know? And I said, well, for one thing, only half my house is working. And I said, for another thing, I put a meter on it. I only have 1 leg of power in my house right now. And you could tell she was so condescending, right? So it is what it is. But, and then Roy says, not knowing what you're talking about doesn't stop most YouTubers, right? Hey, Sorry about that. I have a little friend with me tonight who likes to walk under the table. He messed that up. One moment, please. I'll try not to make this too. Can I mute this somehow? Yes. One moment, please. Well, apparently Grant's in the other room and has his headphones on and can't hear me, so I should probably send him a text. So he has a dog named Inte, and Inte will probably go with us some this summer on our adventures. But he likes to lay under the kitchen table, which happens to be where I am. And like I said, my cable management is wreaking havoc with my OCD, but it is what it is. But he's walking through the wires and knocking things over. So yeah, there's that. If I don't have a 3-year-old, I have a dog, right? Lewis says, take all the time you need, Slay. I will always support you. Thank you, Lewis. Yes, you are one of my biggest supporters. I love you to pieces. Charles says, I go live off both. Sometimes laptop linked to my cell phone hotspot or Fujifilm camera hooked up to my cell phone. Okay, that's like way over my head, buddy. I know I don't have a hotspot on my cell phone. Yeah. So, yeah, I'm going to have to investigate this week. When you have all this equipment, you never think you're going to need your cell phone, right? Apparently, I need my cell phone. And this was another thing. I got up here without a cable to charge the microphone because I had intended on using a different microphone. And when I opened the box, the receiver is still on a camera at home. Yeah, so there's that. So if the microphones die, I guess that will be the end. G brought me this headset that has a microphone. He said I could just set it down here and just use the microphone like that. So we might back up and punt. I have no idea if that'll work. Haven't tried it. But yes, we were having connectivity issues because I believe the transmitter on this one is dead. And so it's got like a 30-minute charge. So I don't know how long that's going to hold out tonight, but we'll see. I'll be impressed with it if it makes it an hour. Just says, Lou, it's good to see you. Been thinking of you. See, Lewis, we've all been thinking of you, right? And Carlos says, lurking. I'm in the back lurking. You can just stay over there with Inte. Okay, just don't trip over the wires. Roy says, it's Saturday here. It must be Saturday morning or like almost noon, I think, maybe. So it's still sunny. So if you can hear in the background, the boys play games on Friday night, right? And he's wearing headphones, so he doesn't realize if he gets loud. So if you hear something in the background, it's the boys gaming. So we just do what we do, right? And there's Mr. Camera Junkie. Hello, Lewis. I have been meaning to send you a message because what we talked about absolutely worked 100%. And it was great. And I tried it out. Everything was cooking with gas as of Tuesday or Wednesday. And then I lost the internet. So yeah, hadn't counted on that card being dealt to me, right? But I remember you doing live streaming from a bathroom when you went to the People in Video conference like a year and a half ago or something. And then I remember you doing one on a balcony. And so I thought, you know what? If he can do this, okay, I can make this work, right? You lead by example, bud. And I appreciate it so much. Charles says, yes, you can turn on your hotspot on your cell phone and use Wi-Fi setting on your computer to link your computer to your cell phone. I don't think, I'm on the old people's plan, and I don't think that it has a hotspot thing. I know when I was with AT&T, it was like $30 a month or something for a hotspot, but you could only watch like one movie. You couldn't really, now this has been many years ago, but it wasn't very much data at all. So I don't think at the time. Now they probably have it unlimited now or whatever. But yeah, I'll have to try that. And there's Jim. How are you doing? You must have been on the road lately because I haven't seen you around, and you usually pop up here and there. Hi, Sly. Glad you got set up. Great to see you. Right? I just couldn't miss a Friday night. I mean, you know, I look so forward to this that I was literally up until a little bit after 10 o'clock. We were trying to still get everything set up, and G was hilarious. He comes in because I had tried so many times. We couldn't get the camera. We couldn't get any sound. I mean, it was just, we were trying over and over again. And so he comes in and he does the slap, and he's like, okay, take 42, silence on the set. It was hilarious. I was laughing so hard. He's like, oh no. That makes me think of, oh no, Mr. Bill. And if you're old enough to remember Mr. Bill, yeah. Charles says all cell phones have hotspot capabilities. Oh, okay. Well, I will ask my tech-savvy son in there, because I am not. If I'm not taught how to do something specific, yeah, probably not going to learn on my own unless I just trial and error. Because I'm not afraid to jump in. I might not go public jumping in, but I'll do the unlisted thing over and over and over until I get everything just the way I want it. So, a very hipster headset. This is actually his old one. He got a new one for Christmas, and it's by the same company. It's by Corsair, but the new one, because he got one, I had to get one, and I've never used it because I would think that might look a little dorky. I don't know. I mean, it's great for gaming because they're not looking at you, right? But I would think for live streaming, the whole headphone thing, I don't know. Yeah, I'm much happier with a lav mic or my overhead mic yeah. Hi, Peter. If you put those headphones on, watch out for the starships on your left. They're the bad guys. Okay, I get you. They do kind of look a little galactic, don't they? Yes. Roy says, Saturday, nearly 2 o'clock on Saturday afternoon here in Melbourne, Australia. So when I was traveling many years ago, like 40 years ago, the people in Boston thought we had buffalo roaming free in Oklahoma. And they wanted to know how you drove across Oklahoma because you have buffalo roaming everywhere. And there's Indians riding horses. And I just cracked up laughing. So I'm going to ask a very ignorant question. Do the kangaroos actually just like get in your way? Because, all you see on movies and stuff is like driving out across the deserted areas, and there's all these kangaroos jumping about, hopping about. So, yeah, I have no idea. I'm sure Melbourne is like a really big city, right? So you probably don't have kangaroo hopping down the street, but, maybe you do. I don't know. And Lewis is saying, yay! I know that's what you meant. Glad it works. Yeah, me too. Roy says, these days so much is battery powered that I have a table set up for charging batteries. Yes. So in my quest for the perfect microphone, which I probably still haven't found the perfect microphone, but I got one that sounds really, really good. But I started off with this, okay, which is funny. My first live stream was done with the Deity microphone, the little lav mic, and I thought it sounded okay. I had several issues with the audio out of the ATEM, and so once this week, I bypassed that, and I went straight to another hub, which, Lewis, interesting note here. So I have the Hagibis hub, right? And I was trying to piggyback a larger hub and a smaller hub. Can't do it. The Mac will not let you do 3 hubs. You can do 2. Nothing, when I piggybacked them, nothing that I plugged into the piggybacked hub registered on the Mac. So get rid of that one, and now I just have the one, and everything works great. So I did not bring the Hagibis up with me because a couple of reasons. I didn't think I would need all the ports, and I don't need the external hard drive. So I just brought my little one up with me, and everything seems to be working. So my next video is about a minimalist mobile setup for live streaming. Oh, thank God. I am so happy you're doing that, because I don't feel like this is minimalistic. Okay. I have a capture card, and so because I'm only using one camera tonight, I was going to use the capture card, but it has a display port. It's HDMI in to DisplayPort out, which I think when I bought it for the PC, which has display ports. Obviously the Mac does not. So, but it is what it is. Everything's working. But I would love, love, love to see a video on how to not have all of this to do this, right? Peter says, everyone in here that is male, give the lady a thumbs up. I'm pretty sure that's everybody. We're going to get some women in here, okay? There's a lady named Cree that does really cool videos. She's a photographer, so I'm going to invite her. And there's a lady in Sweden called. She has a show called, or her channel is called Sold Out Media, and Amanda, and I'm going to invite her. And there's another lady, and I'm not sure where she's from, but she's got a really thick accent, and she talks a lot about making videos with cell phones, and I think she has the M6, and so I'm going to send her an invite as well. So we may be getting infiltrated with some women. Watch out, guys. What cellular plan do you have? I'll research real quick here. It's consumer cellular, and I love them because they have never changed anything on their plan unless it has benefited me. Okay, so I pay this. I think we've been with them 3 or 4 years, 5 years, maybe about 5. And my son and I are on the same plan. It's the same price that it was when we started, but yet when we started, we had like 25 gigabytes of data. There was limits, and I actually checked our old plan, and we were only using like 10 to 11. So 25 was more than plenty. But now everything says unlimited, and they don't charge me a penny more. So I really like that, because with Suddenlink, who is now Optimum, they would shoot you a price, and then within, I think it was a few months, it like doubled. And so, yeah, so I was paying a lot for the internet, which is fine because I use it a lot. But the fact that they never told you they were going to do it, they just did it. That bothers me. And if Consumer Cellular had an internet package, I'd be there, right? But as far as I know, they just do cell phones. They're kind of sponsored by AARP, if that tells you anything. So, Peter says, the kangaroos down here in Miami are driving us crazy. Peter, you have your own things in Miami, okay? What I have noticed in watching all this weather stuff, you don't seem to get hit with the weather like the rest of the country does. Okay? So like I think right now there's like this warm pocket thing that covers like Oklahoma and I think maybe part of Texas. But it doesn't extend as far as Miami. Apparently if Florida gets weather, there's like a line and Miami's under the line. So you all get no weather. What is up with this? You would think more people would move to Miami. Charles says, the only thing I know about Australia is what I saw in Crocodile Dundee. Exactly. That's what I'm talking about. And as he's driving along and he's on his little walkabout thing, there's kangaroos hopping all over the place, right? I'd like to see a kangaroo. It's not in a zoo. Roy says at Peter, we don't have kangaroos here. They're giant rabbits. Rabbits with a pouch. You got cool rabbits. Carlos says, Sly, your commitment is amazing. Reminds me of Mr. Camera Junkie. He's my mentor. That's exactly who I'm modeling. Now, Lewis is a lot more informative than I am. Okay. He is a wealth of knowledge, and he loves to share the knowledge. So I think that's it. I adore him. He's just, yes, I look up to Lewis very, very much. So yeah, I'm committed in more ways than one. Carlos. Charles says, I have videos up on how to live stream remotely using minimal equipment. Okay. I probably should have done some research. Oh, yes, I couldn't. I didn't have any internet. Okay. Yeah, it's very, very frustrating. Especially at home. When I got up yesterday morning, my phone was acting kind of wonky. But I didn't really pay a lot of attention to it because I was in a hurry to get up to see my grandson, right? Priorities. Okay. So I thought, oh, it'll clear up when I get to Tulsa. Well, I didn't really pay attention to my phone the entire day. Okay. So we get home last night. He spent the night with me. We get home last night. And the first thing he says is, Grady, can I watch dinosaurs on your computer? And I'm like, sure, buddy. Hop on up there. No internet, which is why my phone was going wonky, because it just kept trying and trying and trying to connect to Wi-Fi, and obviously I have no Wi-Fi. So yeah, didn't figure that one out until couldn't play the dinosaurs. And you know, that little boy was the best behaved little boy ever. I wish he understood how much I want to thank him. And Lewis is saying, thank you, Carlos. Peter says, Roy, don't quit your day job. Your jokes are not hilarious. I thought that was pretty good. Rabbits. That's going to be my new thing. Rabbits. Roy says, too late, Peter. I'm trying to retire. Well, if you figure that one out, Roy, would you pass that information on? Because I'm thinking I got about another 9 years. And probably in 9 years, there will be no more Social Security. So, you know, I think we're just all screwed. It's all good. Peter says, Michelin? I don't know. I thought Michelin was a tire. Maybe it means something else. Charles says, I think Consumer Cellular doesn't offer hotspot. I didn't think they did. They're pretty basic. But they've done everything we need them to do. And one of the criteria for my gamer in there was that you had to be able to go get online while you're on a phone call. And with Sprint, we couldn't do that. You had to hang up before you could get online. So that was why we switched. Now, they've had some hiccups, especially like he uses his phone for a work phone. And so there have been some hiccups where he hasn't gotten messages on time or what have you. But for me, it's fine. So, but I am going to contact AT&T about internet and see what they can do for me. And Mr. Camera Junkie's feeling the love. Peter says, sidebar, the mic is rubbing on your clothes a lot. Sorry. I will try not to move. I'll try very hard just to stay very still. Okay. Because I really can't fix that on camera. Oh, you know what I could do? I can. One moment, please. Better? Let me know if that's better. Because I don't think I can keep from moving. So you can just see it. It's there. That must be an intermission in the break in the gaming world. Roy says, I don't get kangaroos in my garden, only wallabies, wombats, echidnas, and lots of parrots. That's cool. Yeah, I might have to come visit. Oh, Jeff, aren't you in Australia? I think you are. I'm not sure where. Jeff says the kangaroos are found around the outer suburbs. They're in abundance out west where we live. There are different kinds of kangaroos also in Australia. Oh, okay. You could have fooled me. I figured one kangaroo was another. So, Carlos, everyone needs to watch last week's live stream from Mr. Camera Junkie about Opus Clips. It's crazy awesome. Yes, it is. And that's my next learning curve thing. So I learned how to do this, like this border from Mr. Camera Junkie. Okay. And as you notice, the corners of the actual picture are rounded, not square. Okay. It's little attention to details like that makes him the king. Because he knows how to do all that stuff. Roy says that Jeff, I'm up in those dandenongs. Never heard of a dandenong. And I'm sure that I am butchering that up so bad. Sly taking her clothes off. Well, Peter didn't like the rubbing microphone, so I had to make some adjustments. So that's what that was about. It says, rats, kangaroos, rabbits. Sly's live stream is friendly to people and animals too, right? Yes, if we're not talking about rats, we're going to talk about kangaroos, right? And rabbits. I like rabbits, I think. I actually had to, at the playground, am I still? Yes, okay. The transmitter is flashing red. So I may have to switch over to this thing if I can figure out how to make this thing work. I don't know if I can or not. I don't know if it'll read it. I may need some help with that yeah, we may have technical difficulties. And that's okay, you know, it's live. Anything and everything will happen when you go live. Charles says AT&T offers prepaid plans for $50 unlimited 5G with 15 gigabyte hotspot. Okay, well, they used to be 30, but so that's cool. I don't really plan on going live mobily. Okay, this was a completely unplanned day. Yeah. So hopefully it won't be the norm. It'll be the exception. And I am going to keep an eye on the microphone because I have a feeling with it blinking red that's probably telling me it's about to go. Yeah. So if it does, we'll plug this thing in and see if we can make that work, right? Because I've worked really, really hard to get good audio, and then we're back to square one. So that's okay. What is it? 2 steps back, 1 step forward, or 2 steps forward, 1 step backward. Yeah, it's all good. And you guys are so patient. And so that's pretty much been my week. I did get a OWC hub. Okay. It's not very loud. Can I make it louder? Okay. So it doesn't look like it's loud enough. I really don't know where you're supposed to talk on this thing. Huh? Well, I'm talking right there and it's not very loud. It's right there. Can I make it louder? Huh? Okay. No. Okay. Okay, well, it's just not going to be very loud, I guess. Hey, Kyle, how you doing, bud? We are kind of just pitch hitting tonight. I know that's not loud enough because I can tell on my A10. Okay, awesome. Yes, I know it's quiet, but it is what it is. I lost my mic, so this looks really funny. But hey, if it works, right? Is that okay? Maybe. Okay, so Kyle, tonight has been a journey for me. This is a first, right? You have to expect the unexpected, right? And this is one of the unexpected. And Roy, yes, I did lose sound. The receiver quit, so this is the only other mic that's in the house. I have the 2 transmitters for the Hollyland, but I don't have the receiver. So, and I didn't realize these were dead. They were just in the camera bag. So that's the only reason I had them at all. And they were just almost dead. And I found them like at 10 o'clock, so I didn't have time to charge them. So Peter says, done, battery died. Yes, it did. What do we got?
I'm just charging this just in case it's low battery or something.
Okay. So I don't think that one has any USBs. That one should have one next to it. Okay, am I charging? I am. I have a red light. Okay, so that's my stage crew there. That's he made sure he plugged me in. to make sure that this doesn't die, because like I said, this is not the gaming headset he uses now, but he's used this for several years, so, and he probably didn't have it charged. The Corsair headset seemed to mine lasts a really long time. It just looks really dorky. Charles says you can get the $30 monthly plan, and when you need hotspot, just do an add-on for $10. That would probably have worked tonight. So one thing that we did notice or find out, I had to buy an Ethernet cord, and I got a Cat 6 cable, Ethernet cable, I guess. And when we plugged it into the Mac, it is not picking it up. So it's picking up the Wi-Fi, so I'm on my son's Wi-Fi, but it would not pick up direct. And he tried his cable that he's a big fan of running a cable directly to the unit and not using Wi-Fi, and so he unplugged from his computer, so we know it works, and plugged it into the Mac, and it did not work. So I don't know if when the storms rolled through, if it did something to that. I won't know until I get my internet back up and try to plug it in. So it may have done something to the Mac. I don't know. Everything else seems to be working great, but the Ethernet port does not seem to be picking up. So Kyle says, sorry I missed your live stream, Peter. Well, tell him hello now. That's an easy fix. A quiet audio. Is it too quiet, guys? I don't know how to make it any louder. I'm sure there's probably buttons on here, but I don't. Yeah, Grant said this is supposed to be like almost.
Is it not working?
Okay. So we'll just throw this over my shoulder and.
I do have one other choice.
What?
You use your iPhone as a mic.
Oh, that would be good. Okay, so we're going to back up and punt.
Hi everyone.
There he is. Okay, so he is going to try to make my iPhone a microphone. I don't know. Okay. This is called live streaming on the fly with Sly. Okay, so he's trying to do something to make the mic in my iPhone work. I think it would be input, output, input.
It should be input.
Okay. Apparently.
Did you mess with this at all?
No.
Testing. Testing. Oh god.
Sorry, guys.
Did nothing.
No.
I just saw it.
You just saw what?
The easiest instructions. Okay, open Mac. Oh.
Open any app. Okay.
So here
Okay. We don't know what we're doing.
we're winging it.
Okay. Well, we're just going to have some quiet audio. It's fine.
Okay, sorry.
It's fine.
I was hoping I had an answer.
Okay.
I tried.
Well, I know you did. Thank you. Actually, this thing moves. Oh.
Yeah, if it goes up, that's the mute.
Oh, never mind. No, it doesn't move. Okay. What did you do to my thing? I think you did.
I just pulled up video.
Well, but I can't see anything now. Okay, I think we're back.
Can't you see?
Well, I can now, but I had to turn all that off.
Oh.
Okay, so I can't really move the mic up. So it is what it is, you know. It's all good. Let's see. Charles says we can hear you. Okay, well, is what it is for tonight. Like I said, next week I will be back at home where I have a plethora of microphones and cables and the right cables, and imagine that. Looks like Thing is coming to help. That's you, your Thing. Okay. Jim says, what the heck, Sly? Put the headset on. We're all friends here. But can I hear?
Hear what?
I don't know.
The ambient music.
I don't want to hear. I don't know.
You want me to hear?
Okay. That mic is designed to be close to your mouth. I don't think it... I mean, I'm almost eating the thing.
Yeah.
And it's not getting any louder.
It literally rests right here. And you have the headset on.
Ground control. Well, if nothing else, you've given my son a good laugh. And this is going to go on YouTube. Okay. It is very close to my mouth, Peter. Okay. Kyle, for some reason I've been tired all day. Well, that happens, young man, as you get older. you want to take a nap. Unlike when you're 3 and you don't want to take a nap. Charles says you need to put your headset on. Okay, I'm going to try this, guys. I think that's even farther away from my mouth than it was. It doesn't really bend. Of course, now I can't hear the boys either, so that's a plus. I'll just casually keep my hand close to my mouth. It'll be fine. Jeff said, Sly, you will need to come down under. My wife and I will always have a place for you. Well, thank you so much. Oz is such a beautiful place. I am in Brisbane. Tasmania is a must-see, but anywhere in Australia. That was on my bucket list the year I turned 60 to go to England, and it didn't happen because of the 19. And so I need to add Australia. While I'm still fit and able to do things like that, now is the time to do them, right? And thank you. That's very, very kind of you. Peter said a headset mic is for close to your mouth. It is designed to reject sounds from afar. You are afar. I didn't realize I was afar. Just said you still have sound, so it's all okay. Don't stress. I don't stress about little things like this. Not having internet and them not willing to do anything about it stress me out. Okay? But when you're live streaming, stuff is going to happen. And it's completely out of my control, right? So, yes, had I known I was going to use the deity tonight, had I known that I wouldn't have internet, that thing would have been charged up, put on the charger Tuesday, right? But I didn't know. And so, we just back up and punt and see where the ball lands. Roy says, batteries are the bane of my photographic existence, right? One of my things, Roy, I have 2 M6 Mark IIs because they take the same battery. They're the same camera, duh. But I really have this thing about every piece of equipment taking a different battery. It drives me nuts. So I seem to buy things in 2s. The 80 and the 90D both took the same battery. The G7X does not take the same battery as anything else, nor does the Sony. So there's that. But
I've got them plugged in most of the time, so not really a problem. Lewis says, love you, Sly. Well, see, bud, if I can do this, okay, you could do this. You're young and you can do things on the fly. Was the cat... What? Was the cable reversed? What do you mean was it reversed? They're one way? Are you really kidding me? Are you kidding me, Roy? Is that really a thing? Oh my goodness. You know, after I sign off, I'm going to have to test that. So if you're pulling my leg, I'm going to have to test that. I didn't know Cat 6 was a one-way cable. I know some of the HDMI cables that have the thing to push the signal. I know some of those are directional, but I didn't think Cat 6 was. Roy says better. Okay. Well, I look like a dork. I look like I'm getting ready to land an airplane, but you know, that's okay. Yeah, you should see some of my kayak videos, Roy. I really look like a dork there. Hi, Roy. We are in Brisbane. Melbourne is the only state I'm yet to visit. This is on my go-to list. I did Tasmania last year, showing to do Melbourne next year. So y'all call your cities states? I thought Melbourne was a city. It's like Oklahoma is a state and Tulsa is a city in the state. So is Melbourne a city or a state? I may be completely confused. Jacob, Friday night. Yes, sir. Friday night, buddy. And we are all here, right? And you can stop laughing now. I know you are. I know you're laughing your head off. It's no longer Friday night here. Well, we're an hour behind you, Charles, so it's still Friday night for about another 40 minutes. Jacob says, well, better to move south where we keep it real, right? Yeah, well, it's real, all right. Jim says, we back, baby. We have sound. We had some technical difficulties there, but, you know, still have a dog walking around under the table. But I think the only thing he could really knock over now would be this other light, so not too big of a problem. Roy's talking to Jeff. Seen enough of the world to know I like Australia. That's cool. I think everybody should live where they feel at home, right? That I don't mean house-wise. I mean, you should live in a city where you feel at home. Charles says, I'm getting ready to see the coronation of the King of England in 2 hours. Oh, that's right. They are doing that. Yeah. That'll be kind of interesting to watch. Shame I don't have internet. It's alright. I can watch it on my phone or something. Jacob says, looks like the best sportscaster around, right? So you think it's sportscastery look or ground control? Or air traffic control? Because I'm thinking it's, you know, like I'm up in a tower somewhere, bringing those big jets in. Yeah. Roy says, Charles, I guess it's the only coronation we'll see. Maybe. He is 70. G says, Sly's next adventure is to start a gaming channel. Well, you know, I do have all the equipment. I just don't know how to play the game. That's okay. Lewis says, Jim is right. We back, baby. So, oh, it did get louder. Okay. Well, I look really stupid, but it does look like the sound is perking up a little bit there. So, okay. I can live with looking stupid. Charles says, now you look like you work at NASA, right? And it sounds much louder. Good, good. Except when I eat the microphone. That's, the gremlins did it, right? I think I have gremlins in a lot of different places. Lewis says, Sly, thank you for sharing your thoughts with everyone. Lewis, but you just got to keep coming in and, answer our messages, and you're part of the family, bud. We love you. Peter says, sounds okay now. Let go of the mic. It's designed to know where it should be. No, it doesn't. See, when I let go of it, the levels drop again. So apparently it is for a much larger face than mine. I didn't know they came in sizes, but the level dropped way. And if I bring it back up here, the level picks back up again. So I'll let go of it. Sure, says the man who sits and holds a mic in his chair. Just teasing you, Peter. Roy says, all my lighting now takes all different batteries too. That was another thing with this these portable little lights. So everything I bought took the same battery, or I didn't buy it, right? Now the Ulanzi lights that I like so much, they have a built-in battery, so you can't do anything. You just they charge with a USB-C. You can't. There's no batteries. So, but the ESDDI, the big lights, they're about this big. The Ulanzis are about like that. They have a battery, and I think you can use a electric adapter on them. And if I got it when I got the lights, I don't know what I did with it, because I haven't been able to find that ever. So Charles says you should have brought the $15 mic you bought that needs no batteries, right? So I thought that I have a bag of little shotgun mics and stuff, and I thought it was in the camera bag I carry all the time. Apparently at some point I had cleared that out, and so there was nothing but a tripod, which I ended up putting, you get this over here, a light on it, because the dog was knocking over the other one. So I know the lighting is not great tonight, guys, but it is what it is. You can get twisted cables. So Roy, I am OCD about cable management, okay? And so this is kind of bothering me a little bit, but it's temporary. At home, I have these, okay? And I have several packages of these. These are fantastic for so many different things. You can put, like, if you have different mics or different cameras and you want to know which camera's going where, you just color code them. And you can just put these, and it not only does it wrap your cables up, but it tells you which is which. And so, yeah, I love those. They're like $4, I think, on Amazon. They're fantastic. Sometimes when the Cat 6, the connections need to be reversed. Roy, we didn't even try that because I didn't know that was a thing. So as soon as I sign off here, I'm gonna try to reverse it and just see what happens, because yeah, that'll teach me something. Actually, that's how I'm gonna look at that. Let's see. Charles says, oh, there are two types of Cat 6 cables. Okay, this is the cheap Walmart kind. So, yeah, I don't know. I didn't actually read on it. It just said Cat 6 Ethernet, and I needed one, so yeah. Actually, I think G is going to keep this one because he's running a 100-foot cable, and he doesn't need that much. So he's going to keep this one for when he goes to his LAN parties. It's kind of cool. Roy says each city is the main part of a state, and usually about 500 miles apart. Wow. Okay. Each city is the main part of the state. Okay. So our towns, now a town is smaller than a city, but our towns are about 10 miles apart. And then you'll have your big cities are probably, well, Oklahoma City and Tulsa are about 100 miles apart. Those are probably the two biggest cities. But then we have about every 10 miles you'll have a town. So I have no idea why they did it that way, but you know. And Jim says, hey, you can drive a kayak, meter the legs of a utility service entrance. I'm sure you can fly a plane. Yeah. Okay, I get meter the legs of you. Okay. I don't like heights. But I have never ever wanted to fly, like be a pilot, because you're in the nose of that thing. Yeah, no. Yeah, not for me. I don't want to do skydiving. Nothing that involves being up in the air. Now, being on the water, I'm completely comfortable with that. But up in the air, another story. Lewis says, ooh, coronation is soon. Oh, cool. Yeah, I kind of like to, I don't know why. I mean, it doesn't really affect anything in the U.S., but I do just kind of like to keep up with what the royals are doing. Jeff says, sorry, Sly, no Victoria. Oh, no, Victoria is the state, and Melbourne is the city where I'm from. Queensland is the state, and Brisbane is the city. Ah, thank you for clarifying that, because I did not realize. I thought you had just like, I don't know why I thought this, Jeff. This will show my ignorance. I thought it was just like one big continent, Australia, and then you had just all these little cities. Yeah. Who knew, right? I need to study the world map a little bit better. Sly, do you have a sweet tooth? Well, yeah. Not as bad as some, but I definitely like my sweets a little bit. Sly for mission control. Go, girl. NASA needs you. Right? NASA needs something. Right? I mean, if supposedly we were launching rockets back in 1969, why can't we? This is 2023. We should have already colonized something. So Kyle says, I have a gremlin in my bed. Don't tell anybody, Kyle. She'll go home soon. Roy says, still sounds okay. So if I move my hand, the sound drops dramatically. Like it goes from being perfect to half. So, I mean, obviously, this just really looks weird, doesn't it? Part of the family. That's right, buddy. You are part of the family. Roy says, Sly, you need a bigger head. That's what I'm thinking. Because you can't really, I don't think they'd stay. You can't really move these back. And G says if you tilt it up, it mutes it. So, yeah. That's okay. It is what it is. Roy says the days are gone when everything took AA batteries. You know, there was something I was watching, and it made that point that if you're out and about and your battery goes dead, okay, you can pick up a AA battery at any convenience store, right? But the specialized batteries, where are you going to find one of those? So you either have to charge it, and I can't remember now what this was on. If it was on it was probably on a microphone or something. But I can't think of any of the wireless mics that take AA. Oh, yes, I can. Okay, so I have a Samsung Concert 88, and it takes 2 AA batteries. So if you're out and about and your battery dies, you just pop new batteries in, right? The Deity does not have a removable battery, nor does the Holyland. You have to actually, now the Holyland has a charging case, but the Deity, you actually have to charge the transmitter and the receiver. So, Roy says, you sometimes need a cable where the connections are reversed. Well, I'm certainly going to try that, because I may have learned something. So, I still think this is not loud enough if I don't hold it closer. I'm sure the air traffic control people have a little more customization going on here. I can't see them sitting for 8 hours a day with their hand next to their mouth. Jeff says, Roy, the same here. I also agree with you. I love Australia, and we have many beautiful places to see. If I'm not mistaken, they filmed a movie in Australia because of the waterfall, and the water was so blue, it was like a teal color, but crystal clear. It was really pretty. Roy says, please don't try to reverse it. It's another type of cable. Well, so Roy, if it's not going to hurt anything, right? If it's supposed to be the other way around, and that way it would let me know that the Mac's not messed up. And if it still doesn't work, then no harm, no foul. Roy says, I got Kookaburra pecking the window for food. I think we used to sing a song about kookaburras. Roy says, if you let lithium-ion batteries go too flat, then they start to fail. Oh, okay. Well, I'm pretty sure the Deity uses lithium-ion, I think. I'm not 100% sure. Jeff says, yes, with me. Regarding the USA, I get confused sometimes between your towns, states, and cities, so you're not alone. But I will confuse you more. We also have satellite cities as well. Yeah, you're right. That confused me more. Yeah, I mean, here it's really easy, and you went sort of in order. Town is the smallest, and they don't have suburbs. City has suburbs. They have the metropolitan and then the suburbs, and then the next would be state, and then country. So, yeah, it's just oh, Jim, Ethernet cables come in regular and crossover. Crossover is designed for special networking when computers are placed back to back. I'm pretty sure at Walmart it's the brand ONN, ONN, and I'm pretty sure it's not a special cable. I just ran into Walmart, picked up a cable, ran over here, plugged it in the Mac, nothing. So we even tried manually putting in the IP address, and we got nothing. So it should have picked up on it. We even restarted the computer several times trying to get it to pick up. Nothing. So, who knows? Maybe I'm going to try to switch it, but I don't. It's not specialized. I can promise you that. Most of the cables that I buy, when I have time to research and look and get them, usually from Amazon, they're shielded and they're fairly expensive cables. This was not. So, but it's all they had. So I didn't, there was no shopping involved. It was, I need an Ethernet cable, 50 feet long. That's all you have. So, and it's okay. It's the Wi-Fi seems to be working fine. Jim says, I was thinking that. Charles says, let me explain briefly. The Cat6 cables are differently soldered. The pin configuration on the plugs are wired different. Oh. Okay. Well, I will try to switch it when we get off here, and we'll just see if that does. So, okay. Well, but Charles, so G took his cable out of his computer. He didn't unplug it at the router. He unplugged it at his computer, brought it in here and plugged it in the Mac, and we got nothing. And he's running his computer on it right now, so we know it works. So I don't think it's a matter of it being reversed, but I will try that before I tear everything down, because you never know. So, but when he tried to plug his cable in and it still didn't pick up anything, I'm hoping I didn't do something to the Mac. I mean, I have Wi-Fi at home, but I would rather have a direct connection just to have it. I mean, I just prefer direct connection over using Wi-Fi, but that's just me. Let's see. Roy says, in Australia, each state has a main capital city without much competition. You know what's funny, Roy? Here, not so much in Oklahoma, but in the U.S., a lot of your capital cities are not the biggest city in the state. And I cannot give you an example right off the top of my head, but they'll have they'll be cities, but they won't be the biggest city in the state. And you would think the biggest city in the state would be the capital, but we're a little weird here. It's okay. They are two completely different cables. Okay. You cannot switch the cables. You need a different Cat6 cable. Okay. Well, his cable should have worked on the Mac, right? Unplugging it out of his PC and bringing it in here and plugging it in the Mac, it should have worked if the port was working, I think. I could be 100% wrong, and I did see a hub that had an Ethernet port in it. So if I've messed up the Mac, I might be able to get a hub. Yeah, I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. Plus, I've got to get the internet thing solved first and foremost. So, and Grant is very, very gracious, and I can come up here anytime I need to. So, yeah, I'm very appreciative of that. America is a strange country, you think? I'm not even going to go there, Roy. Not even going to go there. Jim says, New York City is biggest, but Albany is the capital. Thank you, Jim. That's the exact point I was trying to make. I think there's one in Wyoming, too. And Missouri, I think there's quite a few of them. I remember being a kid and you had to memorize all the state capitals, and Randy, what's the capital of Texas? I don't think it's a big city. I think it's one of the smaller cities. Roy says Max can be stubborn. I've never had a lick of trouble out of this one, but it's one of those things where Lewis and I decided I needed a hub to run all the different things I'm trying to run, and I have a Hagibis, which is a hub. I don't really know the difference between a dock and a hub, but because I think people use them interchangeably. Okay, good point. Austin is the capital of Texas, and Austin is not a very big city. It's nothing like Dallas and Fort Worth, Houston. There's a lot bigger cities than Austin. So G just popped his head around the corner and went, Austin. It's like, okay, thanks, buddy. Jeff says, never knew there were different kinds of Ethernet cables. Does it make a difference in speed and connection? I don't know. I have no idea. let's see, LA, California. Jim says the capital is Sacramento. See, that's another one. So the U.S. has a lot of capitals that are not the biggest city in that state, which that never really made sense to me. But maybe they were the biggest when the state was founded, right? Roy says, and some Ethernet cables don't have all the wires connected. Ah, okay. Well, like I said, at home, because I do have this cable management thing, it's called OCD. So I have expensive Ethernet cables, and they are like pretty much close to within a foot of the size that they need to be. So if the Mac is 6 feet from the router, it has a 6-foot cable. If the PC is 3 foot from the router, it has a 3-foot cable. So, here I just grabbed a random 50-foot cable. I mean, he's running his PC on a 100-foot cable. So you would have thought this would have worked fine, but it didn't, and that's okay. Lewis says, have a wonderful weekend, everyone, and happy early Mother's Day to Sly and everyone. Sly is our mom. Thank you, Lewis. I like that, right? I like being a mom. And you guys, none of you guys are young enough to be my grandsons, so but I do like being a mom. So thank you very much for that. And yes, today is Cinco de Mayo. So happy Cinco de Mayo. G went out to dinner at a Mexican restaurant to celebrate, and I was hoping he would bring back something festive, but he didn't. So I don't really have anything that just screams, I should have gotten some like maracas or something, I don't know. But happy Cinco de Mayo, everybody. And Mother's Day is next, not this Sunday, but next Sunday. So the children are taking me on an adventure, which I will try to film. And so that should be a hoot. I don't think the 4 of us have ever gone anywhere together. The kids have gone places together. Grant and I have gone places together, but I don't think the 4 of us have ever done it. And so that it'll be a hoot. I'm really looking forward to it. Charles says, it would be to your best interest to have the proper Cat 6 cable that would work if the situation were to happen again. Absolutely. Yes. This was a spur of the moment thing. I didn't realize until today, probably about by 11 o'clock, I kind of knew it wasn't going to happen today. So I didn't have a lot of time to find something, and it didn't dawn on me until I was actually in town, and I asked him if he had a spare Ethernet cable, and he didn't. So I had to swing by Walmart, and it was all very, very spur of the moment, very sliding into third base type thing. Roy says routers, hubs, and switch are just out to confuse everyone. I think so. Yeah. So it depends on whose video you're watching. Okay. Some people call this thing a hub, and some people call it a dock. Now, the way Lewis explained it to me, I completely get in my mind the difference. But when you're watching videos and stuff, it depends on who you're watching, whether they call it a hub or a dock. So, and I was following along with Lewis, and I really do believe there is a difference, but I just don't think they're being marketed with such a difference in mind. So I'm going to call this a hub. It works because Macs only have 2 USB-C or 2 Thunderbolt ports. That's what I knew. I knew it was something to do with the weather. Roy says Cat 6 should be faster and safer over a longer length. Well, like I said, It was the only 50-foot cable they had. So 25 probably would have been a little short. I'm going to eat this microphone. 25 probably would have been just a smidge short. I guess I could have moved the table over a little bit, but so I got 50, and I got nothing. Like, not even a hint. Didn't even try. So Charles says the difference in the Cat 6 cables is on the handshake, how they communicate and how it's wired. They're called crossover or straight through. So I probably needed a straight through, I'm guessing. Roy says festive, you mean tasty? Well, you know, they have like the really bright striped, colorful things for Mexico. I don't know. It just, I just don't have anything Mexican, right? So you would think, living in Oklahoma, which is not too far from Mexico, that we would, but, and they do celebrate it up here, but I just didn't have anything. Yes, and yeah, and I haven't had dinner yet, so don't get me started on that. Jeff says, you as well, Lou. Have a great week. Stay safe. We'll be thinking of you. Yes, Lewis, if you need to reach out to any of us, every person in here would talk to you. Charles says, I had a 101-year-old lady dancing Mexican Cinco de Mayo music this morning. See, I have heard if you just keep moving, you don't lose it. And she probably has danced her way to 101. That is pretty cool. Roy says a hub is not a dock, right? So Lewis explained the difference to me. Like if you're docking like boats in a dock, okay, I get that. A hub is more funneled, right? Where a dock is not funneled, it's more each individual thing. I get that. But when you watch videos, and even on Amazon, they use the terms interchangeably. Because one minute this unit will be called a hub, and the next minute an almost identical unit will be called a dock. So, yeah. Roy says, pardon my keyboard, no letters left on the keys. Hey, not a problem. Did not mean to kick you there, buddy. Roy says, most Ethernet cables are straight through. I think that's, you know, this is just a cheap Walmart cable. So, but I will try switching it just for grins and giggles, see if anything happens. And if it doesn't, then when I get my internet back at home, the cable that I was using worked fine. So, pretty sure it's a straight through cable. But it did cost more than this little cable cost. So, and it's 6 foot, and this is 50 foot. So that would kind of give you a hint as to the cable at home's a lot better cable, but the router here is way far away. So Charles says, if you take the Cisco networking test and called the hub a dock, you will fail the test. There are hubs, routers, and switchers only. Okay. Okay. So according to that, there's no dock. Right? Jeff says, hey Roy, out of interest, in Victoria, do you know or use the slang a dead horse? I was blown away when I was told by a Melbourne what it was. Because here we use the term, you're beating a dead horse, which means you're, you can argue till you're blue in the face and it won't change anything. You know, you're like if you're trying to change somebody's opinion or something, doesn't matter what you say or how long you say it for, it's called beating a dead horse because they're never going to change their opinion, right? So I don't know what it means down under, but that's what it means up here. Uh, Roy says a dead horse is sauce. Really? Now, that I would have a problem making the leap. A dead horse is sauce. Okay. That's something. Charles says a hub is a distributing point where a dock is a parking place. Oh, that's so well put, Charles. Thank you. Because that's how he explained it. It was like a dock, like you bring boats in, right? And they each have their little boat slip. And then a hub is like where it's got all these little points that go out from one funnel, from one source. You've got all these points that go out. So with the Mac only having 2 Thunderbolt ports, everything gets funneled into those 2. And I have the Hagibis hub, which goes into one Thunderbolt port. And so I got an OWC hub that went into the other one. And then I tried to piggyback an OWC on top of that, and it didn't work. The second one didn't work. So it got sent back. So now I've got this, and it's not very big. You know, you'd be surprised how small these things are. You don't have to have very big ones. Wow, guys, it is almost an hour and a half. I really didn't mean to do that. It's a meat pie with tomato sauce. Ooh. That actually sounds really good. I don't think I'd like the term dead horse, but that sounds really good. Roy says, a dock connects a computer to a system. The hub, switch, router connects it to other computers. Okay, so what I'm calling a hub has got a bunch of Thunderbolt ports so that you can extend how many Thunderbolt ports you have coming out of the Mac. And then I think it has one USB, which it does, yeah. So maybe I'm using the terminology wrong, not sure. And look who the cat drug in at the 11th hour. Hey, Scott. Hey. What's up, buddy? I think you're an hour behind me, so it's like 1 o'clock where you are. You're getting in kind of late, brother. That's all right, as long as you're safe. So, guys, I think I'm going to wrap this on the road show up. Scott, you missed some moments, buddy. Okay, this has been a totally on the fly thing, and it is what it is, right? Charles says the second hub would have worked if you'd used a crossover Cat6 cable. Okay, so they don't take Cat cables. There is a USB-C from the computer. No, I'm sorry. Thunderbolt. There is a Thunderbolt from the computer to the hub, and then I went out a Thunderbolt into the in port on the little one, and it theoretically it should have worked, but it didn't. What? Oh, why are you staring at me? I have a live audience. He came in and he's just staring at me, right? So I'm thinking maybe that means he's ready to go to bed. Not 100% sure, but let's see. Jeff says, I was told the reason it was called this, they used house's meat and meat pies were once made of horse meat. I was told the reason it was called this, they used something meat and meat pies were once made of horse meat. I don't think I'd like to eat horse meat. I'm not a fan of deer. But, you know, to each their own, I guess. Yeah, I guess it's all what you get used to, right? I don't really care for bison either. So, there's that. But, guys, thank you so much for coming in. I hugely appreciate it. And I got to say a huge thanks to Uncle G, too, for letting me do this, because he doesn't keep the late hours that I usually keep. So he probably is ready to go to bed. But we will do this again next week, and hopefully I will have everything back to as normal as I get, right? Where it says hubs, switches, and routers give connected computers an address. USB, firewall, etc. don't. Okay, hubs, switches, and routers give connected computers an address. USB, firewire, etc. don't. Okay. So, but my understanding is if you plug something into a Thunderbolt and you've got it plugged into the in, and then you've got, let's say you've got 4 outs. One of those outs, if it went into another in, it theoretically should work, but it didn't. So, and the proof's in the pudding, right? If it don't work, it don't work. Jeff said they used horse meat. I mean, we'll say, oh, bye to all. May not be on next weekend, so stay safe. Well, Jeff, I hope you're taking your lady somewhere fun for Mother's Day, right? And all you guys, if your mom's still with you, you need to make the day special for her. And Charles says, is Peter doing another late night live stream? I don't know. With Peter, you just got to kind of wait and see. I think he started one at like 3 in the morning or something. It was crazy. But anyway, I'm going to sign off, guys. And I think Uncle G wants to say bye to everybody.
Thanks for stopping in, everyone. Have a good one.
See you next week, guys. Bye.